Hello everyone, welcome back. It is part 4 of our rebuild here with Florgrade Futebol Clube. Once again, we're looking to get everyone up to speed on where the club's at. The aim of today's video is to take us to the end of the Portuguese Championship group stage, just to have a look at all the fixtures and see what's been happening up until that point. First things first, just having a look at the team here, you can see that we've had a couple of our starting players in midfield pick up injuries. Luckily for us, in the last episode, we talked a bit about squad depth. I brought a couple of young players in on loan to kind of build out the squad and make sure that if this did happen, we'd have capable players who could step into the team and make a difference for us. You can see there that Marcos Soares, Helder Castro both picked up injuries. They're starting players for us in midfield. We've taken them out of the squad and brought in two young loan players, Rio Shipston and Adson, into the team. We have had to play around with the tactic a little bit, change it up a few player roles just to make sure that the players on the park are playing within their best positions. Another thing that we will need to keep in mind as we proceed in the season here is player fatigue. As you can see, we've got a couple of players on the team here who are starting to record low levels of fatigue. To combat this, as we continue through the fixtures towards the end of the season, we'll make sure to introduce a little bit of rotation in the team, bring in some of our sub players, some of our fringe players, just to make sure that our starters can get a rest. It's good news at the start of this episode. You can see that our under-19s have actually won promotion. They've gone from the Portuguese Aveiro division all the way up to the second division, so congratulations to them. For our second order of business here today, I wanted to return back to what we were discussing last time, end of contract offers. There are a couple of players that I have made end of contract offers on now. We can go through those players and have a look at what sort of offer I've made to them. The first player here, we talked about in the last episode, it's Abdoulaye Ndao. He's the first player that we made a formal end of contract offer to. He's going to be joining us from the Senegal League as discussed before. Again, I really like the spread on his attributes. I think he's going to be a big contributor, so we decided to bring him in. We can have a look at the contract that we offered to him. As you can see, it's on £220 per week, with an appearance fee of £20 and an unused sub fee of £15. There's two clauses that have been included in the contract. One of them is a 1-year extension clause. That is, if he makes 10 league appearances in his last year of contract. You can also see that we've included an optional contract extension within his contract there. That means that at any time during his time at the club, we can trigger that and get an additional year of his services. You'll begin to see a bit of a theme here as we go with regards to player contracts. My general strategy is as follows. For the young players, I like to get them in on longer term deals, 2-3 year deals. Wherever I can, I make sure to include these optional contract extensions. The idea is these players still have a bit of room for growth and development, so if we can get them in on longer contracts, we can secure them at a cheaper price now and hopefully look to sell them on for profit in the future. The second player that we identified here as being worthy of an end of contract offer is 18-year-old Brazilian Bruno Henrique. He joins us from the lower divisions, the regional divisions of Brazil. As you can see, at 18 years old, he has a very nice spread on his attributes, no major weaknesses, has a bit of room to grow being 18 years old, and already has some elite attributes for our level. Noted as 2.5 stars of current ability at 18, made sense to bring him in on an end of contract offer. We're bringing Bruno Henrique in on a minimum contract, £120 per week, a 2-year deal. Again, with that optional contract extension clause, he's getting £35 per appearance and £25 as an unused sub. The third player that we made an end of contract offer on is 23-year-old Brazilian Thiago Juan. Again, we brought him in from the regional divisions of Brazil. He is a little bit older, but again, you can see that he has a really nice spread on attributes relative to our level. He also has very high determination, and you see his personality there is fairly determined. I think he still has a bit of room to grow for us, and if we can capture him on an end of contract offer now, we might be able to sell him on for a little bit of value later down the line. We brought him in for £230 per week, again a 2-year deal. Again, those two clauses in there around extensions after appearances, or we have the option to extend his contract at any time. We included a loyalty bonus on this one. He has a £65 appearance fee, £50 goal bonus, a £40 unused sub fee, and if we happen to win the Portuguese Cup at any point during his employment with us, we give him £1,800. I found that these kind of bonuses you can give to players and actually can reduce their wage demands. It's unlikely that over the course of the next 2 years we will be winning the Portuguese Cup, so I can include this bonus, maybe reduce his wage demands a little bit, and the idea is that we're never actually going to pay this out in practice. Moving on here, you can see that we made a move on an end of contract offer for this player Ukra, Portuguese, 36 years old, identified as having 3.5 stars of current ability, only in certain positions though. I'm going to be honest, this contract is a bargain. We're actually bringing him in on a minimum contract here, £110 per week, 1 year deal. He's got an appearance fee of £55, an unused sub fee of £25, and again, if we happen to win the Portuguese Cup next year, we pay Ukra £250. There's a clause included here, a 1 year extension for him if he makes 15 appearances for us in the league. Ultimately, Ukra's going to be coming in and joining us as more of a fringe player. It's unlikely that he actually will be making 15 appearances for us next year, unless he turns out to still be very high quality, and then I don't mind giving him another year on his contract. This type of deal highlights my approach towards older players. As we move up the leagues here in Portugal, we are going to have to bring in a couple of these older players who've been staples for the Portuguese league for a number of years. For those players, I get the feeling that we're not going to have much resale value. This informs my strategy. We bring them in on as cheap a deal as we possibly can, a 1 year deal. A lot of them will want these extension clauses put in. I don't mind including those because it's unlikely that they're going to play that much. Another older player that we're looking to bring in is 36-year-old Serginho. Again, coming to us from the regional divisions of Brazil. Noted at 3 stars current ability, has a really nice spread on attributes here across the board. Really a good deal for us on an end of contract. He's coming in for £300 per week, again on a 1 year deal. You can see he similarly has that 1 year extension in his contract. We've included a sell-on fee for him at 35%, and we've introduced a little clause there that says we'll pay him £350 per week if he ever makes 10 international appearances. We've included that bonus on winning the Portuguese Cup, paying out at £2,500. He's got an appearance fee of £60, international cap bonus at £170, and unused sub fee at £60. This kind of contract highlights another approach that I take to these older players. A lot of these guys have 0 caps, they've never appeared internationally and they're never going to. I know that, and so I don't mind including these clauses like a higher wage if they appear internationally, or giving them a bonus if they appear internationally, because it's never going to happen. Also, you can see the sell-on fee percentage. I always like to include that in these older players' contracts. Sometimes it can reduce their wage demands. Again, we're not going to be selling these guys on for value. Most likely we're just going to be letting them go at the end of their contract, so it doesn't really matter that that sell-on fee's in there. As you can see, all these players had agreed to join the club, so they'll all be joining us as of July of this year. We can take this time to have a look at some of the games that we played in the back half of the group stage this season. There's a lot of other reasons why we've done so well in the back half of the season. You can talk about stuff like Ricardo Machado and his set piece efficiency. You can talk about Ricardo Barros and his skill running in the back of the box. One of the things that's most fun to look at here though is passing quality. I talked about this in the first part, but we really have been excellent when it comes to moving the ball around. You can see a couple of examples of that here, just shifting the ball beautifully between players, getting in behind the lines and slipping the ball in the back of the net. I want to show you my contender for goal of the season. Young centre-back on loan Eriksson bangs it into the top corner. Unbelievable finish, what a player. We can go back to talking about our league performance in a second here, but I wanted to quickly turn attention to the Portuguese Cup. If you remember in the last episode, we beat Torrense to move on to the 5th round of the Portuguese Cup. We were drawn away against Oliveirense. It was another very even game. We put up similar shots and shots on target to our opposition. We put up a slightly higher expected goals count. Ultimately, it was goals from Jamie Poulsen and Ricardo Barros that allowed us to record an unbelievable 2-0 victory. To be clear, we're now through to the 6th round of the Portuguese Cup. Should we win in the next round, we'd go all the way to the semi-final of the competition. I want you to picture this scene. It's the 7th of April 2024 and it's the last game of the Portuguese Championship group stage. You've been drawn at home against Lamelas, a team who are in mid-table. In the grand scheme of things, there's absolutely nothing on the line. A win, loss and draw doesn't change our standings. We're through to the promotion stage regardless. However, we need to go unbeaten. We need an unbeaten season. It is an absolute requirement that we don't lose this game. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Florgrade versus Lamelas. Coming back from a 2-goal deficit, an unbelievable game ends in a draw. The unbeaten season is sealed. Picture this scene. You're a struggling Portuguese 4th Division side. You're in the 6th round of the Portugal Cup. Your opposition is Sporting Lisbon, one of the greatest Portuguese teams of all time. Known to sit on a stockpile of European wonder kids, the odds are firmly stacked against you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Florgrade versus Sporting Lisbon. After all is said and done, it is a remarkable result in the Portuguese Cup. A 1-0 victory over Sporting Lisbon. This might be one of the greatest teams that's ever been assembled in the Portuguese Championship. As you can see, with that win, we're through to the semi-final of the Portuguese Cup, which is truly unbelievable. At this stage in the tournament, games are played across 2 legs, so we'll be the home team first, and then we'll go away to Braga second. I'll be honest with you, regardless of the result at this point, I'm really happy. We're going to be getting a lot of income from these 2 games. They'll be on TV, and we're also going to get our share of gate receipts. Our record over the group stage was 22 wins, 4 draws and 0 losses. We recorded 74 goals for, 21 goals against, putting up a goal difference of 53, and we put up 70 points in the league. Going back to what I was talking about in the first episode of this series, the Portuguese Championship is split up into 2 stages. We just recorded a top 2 finish in the Portugal Championship B. That means that we move on to the promotion stage. As you can see, we've now been put into a promotion group. This is with top 2 finishers in other Portuguese Championship groups. We're going to play each of these teams a number of times. The top 2 teams in each of these little brackets is going to get promoted to the Portuguese 3rd Division. The top 2 finishers in this bracket will then go on to a playoff final to decide who wins out the Portuguese Championship. We can turn our attention now to season records. As you can see here, we went on a run of 18 games unbeaten from the 20th of August 2023. That's a new Portugal Championship record. We broke the consecutive wins record with 9 games won in a row between Sunday the 3rd of December and Sunday the 4th of February. We put up another record with 24 games unbeaten from Sunday the 20th of August. We broke another consecutive wins record with 12 games won in a row between Sunday the 29th of October 2023 and Sunday the 11th of February 2024. We put up another record here with 30 games unbeaten, and we put up another record here as well for our division with 24 games unbeaten. And after all was said and done, we pushed the record even further to 26 unbeaten after that result against Lamelas. We broke a record for our league in goals, with 74 scored across the group stage. At this point, it's safe to say that breaking records is a habit for this team. That's going to do it for today's video. Thanks all for watching. I'll catch you in the next part of this series. Thank you, bye.